Guest is ranked #2 on the street for his analysis of Intel shares. He's Hans Mosesmann, a managing director at Raymond James, and he joins us from his offices in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hans, good to see you. And I want to just pick up on that gross margin point that Sheila was ending with. I mean, at what level does Intel have to come with its margin in order to see the stock go higher?
Well, typically gross margins do come down on a seasonal basis from peak levels during the year, which happened in Q4. We're expecting gross margins to be in the low 60s. They could be a little bit higher just because ASPs, we think, are holding pretty steady, and the company is enjoying a significant ramp in the server space with its new Nehalem processors. So gross margins are going to be, we think, a little better than you would see in a seasonal down quarter.
Let me jump in here, Hans. It's Adam Johnson. AMD, Intel, it's a classic rivalry. Is there any comments you can help us with there? Do we expect Intel to keep maintaining its share and sort of keeping AMD at the side?
Yes, I think that's a reasonable way of looking at it. Though AMD is a much stronger company from a competitive perspective with the now that they don't have the fab that they had before. I think that in servers and in the notebook space, netbook space, Intel has a significant advantage and momentum, and they're probably going to gain share in those two areas enough to kind of maintain or increase their share overall. I think that AMD is probably one to look at perhaps in a year, but not now in terms of momentum.
Hans, it's Jon Erlichman. Intel might have the momentum, but they had pretty good results last time round, and the stock sold off on the news. In fact, it started a 2-week sell-off in the shares. Stock has been very hot recently. Is it not possible that even on good numbers you could see some selling pressure on an Intel?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. We've seen a lot of that activity, sell on the news type of dynamic. But I would caution investors to play that game. If you're a longer-term investor, we're just at the beginning of a Windows 7 enterprise upgrade cycle that will probably start in the second half of this year. There's no reason that Intel couldn't see gross margins in the mid-60s again later this year and even next year, as these cycles in terms of operating systems tend to last not for a couple of quarters, but for a few years.